26th Board of Health meeting.
So move.
Second.
He said so.
Yeah, okay,
Second.
we're open. Just a reminder that the meeting is being audio and videotaped, and we will go to our first call of order. We have an appointment with Lena and Arthur Silva regarding 76 Ward Street, response to a letter of cease and desist of liquid discharge encroaching neighboring property from the VOH. Okay. Who wants to start that?
I will.
Joe?
So, since 2019, there's been a consistent complaint about water discharging off of Mr. and Mrs. Silva's property onto the neighbor's property. In 2019, I went out there with the building commissioner. We went in, we took a look at it, we talked about it. At that time, her hose, or wash machine hose, was discharging into the slop sink. We talked about it, I moved it back. The following year, we got some more complaints moving forward. I actually tried to work with her realtor at that particular point in time. I also had stopped and talked to Dan Menard, the superintendent of public works, because we were concerned that there might be some water that was leaking out in the street because there seemed to be a lot of water. We talked about maybe potentially there being a problem with the sprinkler system, as I remember at that time too, and that somehow maybe there was something leaking. Moving forward, I think we kind of ran out of potential issues. I don't remember having any more complaints until later the following year. That was our beginning of our COVID time in 2020. We had some conversation at that particular point in time. We had some complaints that were made, but there wasn't much done. At that time, you know, it was also some discussion with the neighbor about him, whether it was in 2019 or 2020, I'm not sure, conversing with you guys about the water problem. 2021, we got complaints again. I wrote a letter that said, you know, you got to do something about this. And 2022, I received the complaints again, went out there, and nothing had been done, so I issued the cease and desist. There was some interaction with the realtor. I don't know exactly why the realtor, now I remember that even the owner, the previous owner, had come in and had a conversation with me. The realtor, your realtor, had talked to me. Your realtor had gone in with a Bob Fernandez. At one particular point in time, we took a look at it. They also saw that you were discharging into the slop sink at that point, and they put it back and asked you not to. But as of right at this moment, there's been a constant discharge of water, whatever that may be. I do believe it's part of the sump pump system, from what I remember when I was in there, or part of the gutter system. But it discharges about 5 feet off the property line right onto the abutter's property, who has been complaining since at least 2019 for me. And it appears as though over the years there's a pretty good destruction to some arborvitae trees that are there. And again, I know at this point he's addressed an attorney, a private attorney, about it, and the attorney, came back to us and said, really, this is an illicit discharge. It's something that you should be dealing with, which is true. It's not allowed. So here we are.
That's the one that we discussed last week, week before? Yeah.
So that is true about the pump of the washing machine.
Yeah.
And when we moved there, like I said, I brought the inspection from the house. We were not aware that's why the realtor was involved. They never told us, there was this water problem, and they did the inspection of the
And it
home.
was the existing problem.
So he came up to us maybe a month later to my husband, and he says, hey, nice to meet you, blah, blah, but by the way, I've been trying to solve this problem with the previous owner for about 3 years, but he never solved the issue. But, this existing water keeps pumping. So I had told my husband, I'm the one who said, I says, Arthur, it seems like this, my husband says to him, you know, you should really, we should have been notified of this, because this is not right. We just moved in here and now we're facing a problem that it's really, you know, coming on to us. Why didn't you solve the problem? But he said, you know, he couldn't, the guy never paid attention to him or whatever. So I continuously kept watching the water, you know, and I says, where's this water? And I'm the one who said this, when I wash clothes, it seems like the water runs more. So I don't know if you remember that. I said, when I went to the house, when we moved in there, the pump was already in that sink, which we actually even removed it now. So the water doesn't go in there anymore. So I didn't know, because I don't know anything about plumbing, you know, but he did go there and I agree. He said, this pump doesn't belong here, belongs there. We had a problem with our washing machine. They went there and the pump was switched back. That's probably why you never heard from it. It was put back into the sink, and I never remembered to put it back into that hose again where it belongs. But anyway, after I called the realtor, I says this continues to happen, so that's why probably the water was running more. Anyway, so then the realtor said, don't worry about it because I'm gonna solve the problem. I says, okay, I mean, we really just moved in here, like, really? And she's like, no, I'm gonna solve the problem, don't want you to worry about it, you know, blah, 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 blah. I even have a text back and forth with her, and she says, we're gonna resolve the issue, we're gonna contact the previous owner. I was like, please, you know, something's gotta be done. This man constantly harasses us, you know, we just moved in here. Anyway, so she brought a guy that works for her, and he says, this is natural underground water. And he couldn't understand where the water was coming from. Again, how innocent I was, I said, you know, when I wash clothes, it seems like the water runs more, because I seen it, you know. Because when I used to go to work 9 to 5, I used to come home, the washer wasn't on, and the thing was dry in the summertime, because we moved in May. So he says, oh, the pump doesn't belong here, that pump that he moved, you know, it's the truth. And I says, oh, okay, I'm really sorry, and he moved it back. Never again that was touched. We even removed the sink, so that mistake was never done again. And my husband actually, he even, from the gutters, he even put like another pipe, you know, or tube,
So it
whatever.
comes into our yard. And
So the water comes,
doesn't
and
go
really,
into
now the
the
water
sink.
really highly runs. There's like a little, in between the,
It's groundwater. It's,
in between the trees, you know where those trees are, but it's even barely even touching his grass. So, you know, we're doing everything we can, but it's like, you know, and I don't want nobody to feel pity for me, but it's like, really? It's like, we just moved in here. You were 3 years, this previous owner owned the house for 3 years, and you couldn't solve the issue, so you're gonna pick on us? I've been diagnosed with cancer, I'm dealing with a lot. You know, and I don't need this guy to be,
Sure.
you know, no, it's got nothing to do with it, but still,
And
like,
then, like,
why come to
the
us,
thing
you know?
is, like a month within itself. I mean, we're not saying whatever. If
And
it
we
was
want
probably
peace,
me, it
you
would
know?
be the
I
same
wouldn't
thing.
like that to be done to me either.
Let me talk now. The point here is, like, just by the way he introduced himself within a month of me being in the place, like, hey, my name is Dave, I'm the electrician.
Solve the
I
problem
live
that the
next door."
previous
Let me
owner had.
talk now. You know, like, I have this issue that you guys gotta fix. So right away I said, wait a minute, you have an issue that it's gotta be fixed? Joe was just here for 3 years. He sold me the house.
And all the
And you
neighbors,
never-
they know about
You
this.
never fixed
Just
this issue with
witnesses.
Joe and you want me,
One at a time,
wait,
one at a time.
and you want me to fix the issue within a month? Can you give me 3 months after, let's just say, which was a couple of months? He comes back again. Hey, Arthur, so what are you thinking of doing to the thing? I'm like, do it again, man? Is this how you're gonna be, like, gonna be on my back like a freaking tick? Like, you didn't fix it with Joe again. I'm here for 2-3 months, and you already want me to fix all this problem? Let me look at the problem. Why didn't you fix it with Joe? Another month or two comes by, he comes back again. I'm like, so that's when he's like, oh, okay, so I gotta go to the town. I'm not getting anywhere with you. So I told him, I was like, why didn't you do that with Joe also? Why are you gonna be an idiot or an asshole like you are and bring the town into this when he should have done it with Joe.
And they said
I
that
just-
the previous owner had the pipe, and all the
Yeah.
neighbors know this. I mean, it's,
The
you
point
can
we
go
got here
around
is,
the neighborhood.
this is
We gotta go one at a
Okay,
time, because
this is, we got groundwater, everything is done by the book, if you guys go in there and see. I took the pipes from the gutters, I put it in my own yard, so it's less going into the same system or whatever. The thing is, we didn't touch no piping, no nothing, everything is done in the house, the way I bought the house. If I had known this, I wouldn't have bought the house. Either would you would never buy the house.
And the pipe was there right in the sink. Like, how was I supposed to know this pipe belonged
And
somewhere else?
Also, like, I think it makes it more of a big deal, that's me thinking, because whoever did, well, our house in this case, like, we're much higher than him. So there's no, even the street dumps to his house, you understand? So there's always more water. And then here's where we stand, let's just say, and he stands there, so it's more visible for him to see the water, you understand? So he thinks like, but all we see is that big puddle there.
It's
But
in between the trees.
we didn't do that. Why should I be like going through all this? And this guy's been harassing me for May, it's gonna be 3 years that we've been there. It's been ever since, like, really? Like, why didn't he fix this problem with Joe? Or whoever he had to. All of a sudden, because we came in and we gotta deal with this, you put yourself in our shoes, like, how would you feel? When we didn't know nothing, and then we tried to get the lady that sold us the house involved, obviously, or Joe, the previous owner, to like,
And
you
she
guys
said
gotta
she
take
was
care of
gonna
the problem.
solve it.
This wasn't my problem. I mean, we don't bother nobody. We don't want no problems. You know, that's the whole thing. Ask the neighborhood, we don't want no problems. We don't give them no problems. But,
And the
and
water's
just
in the
another
bushes.
thing, whatever it's gonna be done, it's gonna be done, or whatever you think. Like, do you actually think this is a professional, that he is, because he's an electrician, to come to your neighbor a month after and introduce himself like, hey, you got a problem there, you're gonna have
Yeah, you
to
gotta solve
fix
the
it.
problem
Why
that
didn't
the
you fix
previous
it with
owner
Joe?
didn't fix.
Come on, you take it from there.
No, seriously, like, why didn't he, and apparently the whole neighborhood knows this, and we never knew, they should have told us. Oh, he should have solved the problem. And the thing is, if you go look at the water, it's barely even touching its grass.
And we know so many
Even
things.
my granddaughter, 5 years old today, she says, "Why you're worried about this? It's in the bushes." I get it. The pipe shouldn't have been moved, and I apologize for that. But the pipe was already there. The washing machine.
We didn't do
Those
no
trees,
drainage,
if
no
they're
nothing.
dead, they were already dead, because this guy had been doing whatever with the way it was. I don't know. How am I supposed to know the tube doesn't belong in the sink?
Did you have a house inspection before you bought this?
Yes, right
we
here.
brought it
I
here.
brought it.
Yeah.
Nothing. That's my attorney. He didn't come because he says they were gonna charge me more for legal fees than whatever. But he says there's nothing. He looked over all the inspections. You're free to look at it. There's nothing ever told us, no issue of water. The water is seriously between the trees. Like,
And also another thing that we know
he
like,
should worry
we
about his
should-
own problems because he's got a driveway that's made on a road, not even in his driveway. And we don't mind his business.
And it's a couple of, we know now because of this, because of
Because the
him.
neighbors are the
Yeah,
ones
let me
telling
speak,
us.
man. Those are what kind of ish. Like, because, like, a couple of neighbors already that live there, they had to move because of this person, and now it's gonna be us. But the other ones were down from his house, now it's gonna be us, I guess. That's the way it seems like it. And then, yeah, like people saying they live there, like, the town should look into his driveway to see if his driveway was built in legal grounds, so he doesn't talk about other people. Or
Joe,
he
is
should
there any
have fixed
surface
it
drains
anyways.
there on that street?
I
That's
don't think so.
That's a tough, that's
Yeah.
a tough area. It's,
A lot of water. in
There
there.
is
There's a
It's
lot
not
of
the
water,
first-
there's dumps,
that's
there's
not the
sumps of
first
water.
issue.
If you go around this
That's not the
neighborhood,
first issue
there's
that
sumps
we
of
have
water
now.
everywhere. There's
I just
those
feel bad
trees,
people buy a house.
that's
the
why I'm
road-
like,
I get it, but the road pitches to our houses, but especially there, well, you've been there if you said it, so it's lower than even his where he's got that big trailer, so he gets more water. Oh, because sometimes he told my other neighbor, I have a tough time to go cut the grass. Dude, I get it, I understand, but like we didn't have nothing to do
And
with
that's
it.
probably when it rains more. But
Right,
that's
of course
even
it is.
us. We get puddles of water. You should
Yeah.
see the puddles. I should have taken pictures. Right near my garage,
Yeah.
it's like a pond. That used to be, that's what the neighbor says, because we didn't even know that.
That was
That's
all wetlands, I guess,
wetlands,
back
so
in the day or whatever.
it creates so much water, no matter where you go in the neighborhood.
So it's an issues with water and everything.
That's been a tough road with water.
Is that a public road?
So I wanted to just say this, I think.
I know
that-
from up the top, everything runs down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything.
Towards us.
I feel bad for you guys, really. you know.
Seriously, like,
Now we get puddles ourselves now, right
I
next to
get
the garage.
puddles of water
What are we gonna
myself.
do?
My neighbor
The road
back
doesn't
door,
continue all the way down?
back in front, he even
But it
says,
does drop
he's
off.
complaining, his water from his
That
pond
is
comes
quite
right into
big.
my yard, and I'm not complaining.
Dispersed down the side of the
But we
yard. I
all
really
get
don't think-
water.
I mean, it is what
You
it
know,
is.
anything I need to worry about is dealing with this
And the
guy.
thing is, it's
a
gonna
little
dry,
pond.
it's already starting to dry, we
Yeah,
get it.
it's
So,
trying.
I mean, if I could somebody say one thing, the biggest issue is that it's discharging in a very specific spot all the time.
Yes.
Okay? And I think that, you know, over the past 3 years, somehow something could have been figured out. And really, if you, and it's up to the board, but I mean.
Reroute it towards the street.
Oh, I did it, you know what I did?
Reroute
Once,
it
Can you
down
put
your
a trench
property.
along?
once what I did once was,
You did.
yes,
You
I
but the
put it
pipe
all
was-
the way and I put it back. Now he tells
It
me
flooded
that I'm
out the
getting
back.
to a shed.
We
I'm like,
can't do
dude, I
that,
can't
yeah.
win with you, man.
Can you run it? I'm looking at a picture, so I haven't been to the site, but can you run it along the side of the house and the side of the driveway and end it
Into the
10,
street?
10 feet from the pavement and let it discharge into the pavement?
So, it
I
would
can
just, it
do
would
whatever you
go,
guys want us to do, but it
it would
might,
go back around. It wouldn't do, it would go right back
Yeah.
into the same property.
it's so low.
But the
'Cause
water
it's
is
now-
barely
it's about
running
10
now.
feet away from the
That's what
property
I'm
line
saying.
now. So this
You're
is,
saying
this is,
his
my-
property bottoms out in the front?
yes, his property is definitely the low point, okay,
The
of this, of
street
their
doesn't
property.
go,
But
So
the street
regardless,
actually
yeah.
goes down to it too.
you mean the street doesn't go any further past the property?
It goes further past, but it's higher.
Oh,
So it actually will drain into his property too. But
His
the
property is
issue,
the lowest.
the
so there's a
issue,
low spot in the whole road, it doesn't
Yeah.
continually go down?
the property is, the road continues to go
Yeah.
downhill, but there's no gutters, and his
So-
property is lower.
So if the
So
B,
everything
so if the
that's going by,
BPW,
it's
but if the
dropping.
BPW put in
Some kind of a
Cape Cod
berm.
berms to run the water down by the guy's property.
Yeah, that would be fine, that would manage the road water, but it's
Yeah.
not gonna manage this discharge.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But my
seems
discharge
to
will
me-
go there, would have go there to the,
It
So-
seems to me the only solution is to direct the water to the street, and then the DPW takes care of the street, like they do all the other streets.
That is definitely an option.
I
The
mean,
other,
look, if the street has substandard drainage, they fix drainage all-
Everywhere.
everywhere, so we just gotta get the DPW involved to get the water to flow down the street, past everybody's property and not flood everybody out.
well, the
every
water's
street-
flowing, it just doesn't have any gutters, so I mean,
Well, it needs,
Yeah, there's
it
nowhere
needs
to
Cape
go.
Cod, needs
It
some
needs a
Cape Cod
berm.
berms.
that's part of it. The other part of it is this is a direct discharge onto his property,
Right.
all right? It's only
And
5
that's why I'm
feet
trying
away.
to redirect it to the street.
So either
Then
the
it becomes
street,
the town's problem.
yeah.
the street would be one way, the other way I would suggest is putting it underground, not deep, but underground and down the side of their property.
Yeah, but that's gonna
We
cause
did.
water in my basement, cause that's all, that gets soaking wet. That water in that, so we're gonna avoid this problem, and I'm gonna live in a flooded basement. Do you understand?
Well,
That's
again, I
why,
don't-
probably why the pipe is there.
I don't know. You
Oh,
know,
but I
it's-
know, because
So-
the guy that was gonna buy this house.
Just a minute. So, if there was a berm constructed, right, would there be a way to bypass
I don't
that
know.
overflow
I
that
don't know,
goes on?
it's
So if his
pretty
property
deep.
drops down like that, and you run a berm there and you get the water into the street, it's gonna
Maybe.
bypass.
Joe, I just had a similar problem
Their
with
pump is
Fairhaven.
pretty deep,
Some
though.
people had the same problem. And we said, well, divert it like David says, to the 10 feet away from the property and let it just flow.
Yeah.
Well, we talked to John about it, and he says you can't do that. You can't run water into the town's property, into the street.
But
But
if you stop it
but what we did
short of the sideline of the road, you're not dumping it into the street.
Right, you're
You're dumping it on your
dumping it on the
own
property,
lawn,
going in.
and
Then
just
the
like
river
all lawns
flows,
that
yeah.
drain onto the street.
he says we couldn't do that.
Just, well,
So
Well,
the
I mean,
alternative that we did
every
was
situation.
got it away from the house,
That way.
away from the other people's property, similar to the same problem people have got. And we put a French drain, a blind drain, in the ground. So whatever water came in went to the ground and disappeared in the ground.
Right, but they're
Not above
concerned
the ground.
about that.
You gotta
going
get it
into the
20
basement.
feet, right, like a septic, you gotta be 20 feet from the foundation water or they're recirculating water.
I don't know how much property they own, Dave. You know,
Is there
what's your
20?
frontage? Do you know your frontage of your property?
I don't know, it's probably
Did,
in the, those
So-
things.
So that's what we had to do in Fairhaven.
So-
We had to do a drain for that.
Joe,
It's awful, because we get water everywhere.
See, if you people
Even
had-
near my garage,
If
it's
they had a
like
surface
a
drain,
pond.
if they had a surface drain there, you could get permission from the town to tie into the surface drain to dump your water,
Well-
your surface water into
Right.
the drain.
Let me make
But
a
if you don't have a
suggestion.
drain,
but just a minute, so have we had Dan go by and,
That's-
and,
That's what I was gonna say.
and, take a look at it?
The only
maybe?
thing that Dan did, and that was back, was make sure that there was no water leaks at the time, because there was just a significant amount of water, and we were trying to figure out where all the water was coming from in her particular yard.
So my suggestion, I think, would be, what Dave was suggesting, is that we have the DPW go by and see what
See,
type of a berm we could construct or something. They do
Yeah.
it all over. They do
Yeah.
it
And I
everywhere.
think
think
that's
so.
only fair to us. I'm
You know,
sorry
either
to
they put
interrupt
they
you
either put
because
drainage
we
in,
bought
but
the
I don't
house,
think they're
this
gonna do
problem's been there for years and years. And now we come in and it's like, okay, fix the problem that the other guy had. Why didn't you guys fix the problem with the town before we moved in? You had even a previous owner that already had this issue.
but you have a sub pump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. The berm is gonna alleviate the problem of the round water coming down the road. But what's gonna cause the problem with your sub pump? This is the major problem, is the sub pump.
because
They
of
have
when
that
the,
throughout every community in every town.
yeah,
So
so
you-
the house was built too old to go, and they didn't set them above the water table.
So you set the pump, the drainage just
You might-
prior to the berm, so
You
that
might
it
have
goes
to.
out into the street.
You might have
So
to
it's
do
on your
some
property, but it's going, you know
in
what I mean?
order
You're
to-
not dumping it right into the street, you dump.
In order to get that
Everybody
higher,
does it.
because that drain right now is
Unfortunately,
lower than
it's
the
a
street,
complaint. It's
okay,
an
or it's
issue.
about the street
an issue everywhere,
elevation,
you
so.
know.
And it is a 4-inch pipe, so it's not a 2-inch, so the sump pump goes into some sort of drain that comes around the house, that drains out in that particular location. So if we're talking about a berm, or having to talk with Dan about doing something there, their yard is pretty much level for the most part, it comes down a little bit, is level with the asphalt that's there, the pavement, so the berm's gonna pop up, you know, whatever, 6 inches. So there's gonna have to be something in order for them to reroute their pump in order to make that work, in order to get it out of the street or get it over the berm, because like I said, you know, again, the property does drop off, it's kinda high, it's nice around the house there, and then it drops off to the property line, and that drain is low. And that's kind of the low spot with the neighbor, which the road is elevated from. So there's definitely gonna have to be some sort of work, that drain, that's why I put in there that there's a drain that's in there that's draining everything to that point. It has to be addressed, because we gotta do something.
Well, it's
You
gonna
know,
be for their benefit too, if they can
Yeah.
solve that problem, not getting water in the cellar and not
Well, yeah.
overflowing into the neighbor.
So my
The reason
suggestion
why they,
is
the
that
reason, Tom, the
we
reason
have
why they
Dan
tell you
get
this,
down
because
and
in the
get over it.
winter time, when it freezes up, if you're diverting water and it's gonna go into the street, you're gonna cause an ice pocket. Then somebody's gonna get killed or
But-
Yeah, but-
accidents, you know.
but you
It's just
have-
common
you
sense.
have that through the whole community in all these situations.
They got the problem, not the whole
Yeah,
community.
well, it's
we
never,
can
So we gotta
it's
find a
just somebody
solution.
complaining about it.
Either us or the highway department's gonna have to find a solution.
I have no problems
Because this,
with Dan.
other
seeing
people
what
are
we can
kinda
do.
lucky because the
I
water,
would
all
just-
these,
Try that.
Well,
It's
your,
like
su-
Clayton.
your superintendent here is a good guy. He knows his stuff, and if there's any way he can help you out, I'm sure that Dan would help you out. I mean, the guy's a reasonable guy. He was a contractor before. He's ran into these problems before, and I'm sure he can help you out. And then he can get back to Joe and say, Joe, this is what we can do for these people, see if we can help them out. and
Yeah,
then-
we need help because
Then Joe,
it's
go
like,
back to you.
you know, I
Well,
can't
that's
take
what we're
this
here
stress
for.
anymore,
We're-
you know what I mean? It's
We're
like,
not here to crucify you, we're here to help you
it's
out.
like,
You know?
Alright, I like
and
that.
I wanna
So,
solve the
we're
problem
gonna-
myself, but I can't afford, you know, we just moved in
We're-
here, you know, and I'm
Alright.
out of work for a year now with cancer. I cannot afford,
Yeah.
you know, to be paying money, you know, for something that
Well,
I
we're-
didn't create, you
Well,
know what I mean?
we're gonna see if we can alleviate the problem, straighten it out. I think Dave has a motion.
I'd like to make a motion, we keep it on the agenda until the next meeting, but in the meantime, Joe contacts Dan Menard at the highway department and meet him out there and take a look at what the town can do for the drainage in the road, which will help us to solve the problem with water from your property to the other
I
property.
appreciate that.
Is that a
Anything
brand
you
new road
guys
that
can
they
do.
just did?
I think it's been just paved, yeah.
That's
Just
a
been
motion.
paved.
That's a
Oh.
motion.
Let's second the motion, I have no problem with that.
All in
but-
Yeah,
favor?
maybe you can do something on the shoulder with a
Aye,
catch basin. Aye.
So
I don't know.
voted. So what we're gonna do
The problem is, it's
is
a
we're
new
gonna,
street. They
we're gonna
won't
get a
dig up
hold
that
of
street.
Dan Menard, who's the
Work it
DPW
out.
superintendent. I'm gonna have him take a look and see what he can do and find a way to try to resolve the problem for you.
Okay,
So
thank you.
that's the beginning.
One step
Yeah.
at a time, baby steps.
And then we
Yeah,
can
we
go,
appreciate it,
we
you
can
know?
go from there.
We wanna solve the
And
problem.
we'll work with
like-
you guys, obviously.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, we'll let you know what's
all being-
happening.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got one,
But
I got one more problem that
I
I'm
just
gonna
want to
address.
say something, but you know, whether they believe me or not, because it's like, it seems like everyone thinks we're lying, and it's like, we're not. That pipe was there from the beginning, you know what I mean? This is, we had nothing to do with this, like, it's like, it
They
blows
know
my
that It's in the
mind.
island. that
No,
we
but they
couldn't
make
do
it
that.
seem like, oh, it's there? It's
Let's
like-
see if
We
this
understand the
works.
problem,
and
but now
we'll,
it's your problem.
Yeah,
But there's only one thing
We're
I
gonna-
want you to correct at your house, okay? Where your washing machine goes into your drain, on the top, you just have that hose hanging in.
yes,
What you're gonna have to do is go to the hardware store, get an 1.25" coupling
you know
with a
that.
flare on the top that you can tighten up the nut like you do underneath the sink, because that's gonna let gases go through. Okay, so I want you to do that, that way you people don't get sick, okay?
You know how to do
To
that?
get what? To.
Let me show you. Hey, caramba. Hey, cuidado.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you my book, okay?
Why don't
Well,
you
the other
just,
ones that gave us the pictures.
yeah.
They got the
We could
pic.
have
They got
got
the
out.
Well, I'm gonna show them, it's easy this way, don't let me trip on that
Watch out
cord.
the. Oh, the
Okay.
Don't fall down over there.
No, it's
Time
not
for a
falls down, you
seminar.
have to, see this part right here? You just have the hose in there.
yeah.
Yes.
What you do is go to the hardware store, get a coupling for this.
Oh,
Go over the top, and then on the thread, you take out the thread, you put the pipe in, and then tighten down. That'll make a tight system.
oh, okay.
Oh.
Then, because you can get methane gases through there.
Okay.
We don't wanna
Oh,
get you
okay.
So
sick.
that trap
I don't know
has
if you're
to,
sick now, you
Yeah, I'm
don't
already
even
Okay,
sick.
so
I don't
close
know. I don't
that.
even know
yeah,
how
so
long
that
I'll
trap
live,
has to
never
be
mind.
wet all the time. If for some reason or the other that trap dries
It's dry,
out,
you're
then
gonna
you're
get-
gonna get gas. So he's just making sure that it's closed.
Okay.
We don't want you people to get sick, or bad enough you said you have cancer, we
Yeah,
don't
I'm
need that.
already sick,
I don't even like that word.
All right.
but it's the truth.
So that's what we're gonna be at that
And
for
it's
you. We're gonna
the
take care of
stress
that.
is
We're gonna
not
have them look at it. and
Yep,
I
We'll be in
appreciate
touch.
that. Appreciate all of you guys
Thank
taking
you,
the
man.
time.
touch.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming in.
Joe will work
Alright.
Do you
along with
wanna
you.
keep the inspection paperwork?
No, that's
For any
okay.
reason? No?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll do
Thank you
that.
so
I'll
much.
close that thing for the.
Joe, keep in
smells.
touch with you.
Yeah, I
I'll let you know
appreciate
as soon as
it.
I know
He'll,
something, we'll
if
be
he
out
can
there.
help you out, this is the guy that's gonna help you
Thank
out.
you.
Okay,
All right.
thank you so
All
much,
right.
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
Good night
Have
now.
a good night.
Sorry about
Bye-bye.
anything.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, my jacket.
It's okay, you can leave it there, I need a new jacket.
Oh, it's not, it's old already. You can't get a penny for it.
Good night. Letter from community nurse.
Okay, what the hell we got here?
Letter for community
The
nurse.
good part
Okay,
about this
make a
is,
motion to place on file. community
Second
nurse.
motion.
All in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
So voted. Joe, did you have something?
yeah, I was just gonna say the good thing about this is that the time spent on COVID-19 is considerably less.
Right,
Um,
yeah,
Still getting some hits, but
some.
How do you know, out of the 22.75, how do you know how much is COVID?
I don't.
Okay.
So what has happened is the way that the contract has been rewritten, it's basically on hourly now.
Okay.
So we had spent all of our money ahead of time,
Yeah.
which was some of the grant money. And so now, because we used our grant money ahead of time, we're using what we have left in the budget to pay it. And it seems to be working out because we were that far ahead with the extra grant money. And it dropped right off once. So the hours spent are much less hours. It's more based on what the original contract was.
Okay.
Which is, that's 22.75 hours for a month.
Right.
Yeah, it's low.
Right. So we're supposed to be around 5.5 hours a week, which is what this is working
Oh, right.
to.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Did you get to review the plans?
Yeah.
Have we all reviewed the plans? Do we have any issues with the plans?
I had, one of them I wasn't comfortable signing because of
Did
the-
you get the,
I couldn't open it with my phone. It was
Okay.
all I got.
He couldn't
All I
open
got
it
was
with
a
his
little-
phone.
All I got was a little
Block, it
I
says
couldn't-
windmill.
Yeah, and I couldn't. Well, I couldn't expand the thing.
Here
Which
we
one
go.
did you have an issue
we
with?
can
All
open
right.
it,
Dave.
just couldn't see it.
Oh, you couldn't
So-
All
see
I
it.
got was this.
okay, so, I mean, this was his fix based on what was going on. So that's the cross section that's in there.
Yeah.
But what he did is, this was already in there, right? Which was what you had. He changed this and this over here to put the bottom and the top for 10 feet, and then the bottom and the top over 55. So that's that first 10 feet.
I'm not buying it. It's just the grades are like 96, 95, 94. You're gonna have a block out of the ground.
Which one is that?
So this is the second, the last one.
Yeah.
So
Which
over
one was
here,
that,
he
Joe?
The last one.
Mary Drive?
Yes, 11 Mary Drive. Yep, this is it. And so, that's what he was saying, is that over in this area where it drops off, where you don't technically need the wall, because he could do the grading, he's just trying to flatten it out with the wall there.
Alright, but you're over the, right here, this corner right there, is the
No.
top of the poly barrier is at 97.5. And he's saying he's gonna pull a wall in at 95.5. It doesn't, there's no logic to it.
Two difference.
You can't, like I'm gonna draw a
Yeah,
quick
no,
picture.
you're right.
Okay, you can't do that, you got 97 point,
At the 5 foot over
you got 96 here, what he's doing is he's got a block wall 2 feet high doing this, and then he ends up coming out of the ground or something, and something,
Yeah, I
poly
did-
barrier is like right here, it doesn't compute. Based on those contours, it
Well,
doesn't,
let's send it back.
Yeah,
it just doesn't, you need, what he wants to do is just have one block high, but
Yeah, you needed to have two
he's,
there.
yeah, he needs
I
like a
think-
double stack until he gets to the point where this is in the ground. And then he could, you gotta get in the ground so that when you have this top block, it's actually in the ground.
Because you got the poly in there anyhow.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but
the way he's drawing
the
it, the
block-
poly's, the poly's like right here,
Yeah.
right?
But
And the
the block-
system's over here, and he's gonna have a block that is down here.
It's not making.
And you can't, and then he's saying he's gonna grade it like that, it doesn't work.
All right, that one.
Too much of a slope.
Let's,
It isn't, the whole thing pulls away at the bottom of the hill, and I don't know why he doesn't, I don't
Who's
know.
that? problem with
Who's
the
the
other
engineer on that?
I'd rather not say names.
Oh, so who's the engineer, Joe?
Georgia Boo. AU.
Otherwise, I'm okay with the other ones.
All right. So that's,
Don't know him.
that's 11 Mary Drive.
We did talk about it, and it was about putting double blocks
So-
in that particular
All right,
location.
so
and
let's
that's
send
what he
it,
gave
let's
us.
make a motion
It
that
is
we.
what it is.
Yeah.
Send it back and have them correct it. Can we get a motion to reject that plan?
Which is the 10, that's again, the last one on the.
11 Mary
Motion to
Drive?
send the plan back and have him readjust
That's 11 Mary
the
Drive.
blocks.
11 Mary Drive.
Yep, 11 Mary Drive.
So a motion to send it back.
I'll second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So voted. And we have 63 Main Street, 2 Blacksmith Drive, 52 Laura Keene Ave, and 320 Mendel Road with no issues. I get a motion.
Motion to approve all four is read.
Second.
All in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
So voted?
That includes variances that were asked for.
Yes.
For 320 mental.
Right. Okay. Next. on the agenda is the health grant.
Yep, we continue to talk every Monday, you know, keeping the communities together and trying to figure out some money that we have in this grant. Like we talked about the last time, we got a bunch of the COVID tests that been given out. We've given out, I think we had 5,000 of them, and we think at this point we've given out 4,000 of them. Well, actually, it's more like 4,500.
Wow.
We don't have that much left. And yeah, that's it. We just keep going and trying to figure out how to make public health better here in town.
Good. Can we get a motion to keep that on?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
So voted, so we'll keep it on the agenda. And next is the fee schedule.
Is this on agenda and you want to put on file also?
Yes, it's on the next agenda. So we'll keep it on the agenda.
Okay.
The next item is we had talked about this on the late fees, adding $100 to late fees to delinquent license holders.
Waiting on a full board to vote on it, but basically this is for stables. This would be for food,
It's because
tobacco.
it's been an issue with, you know.
It's been an
longer
issue
and-
from the day one.
Right, there's always an issue because they're late, and then this
We-
might wake people up. You know
We
what I
give
mean?
them ample time. We send everything out in November. We work really hard to get it
We've
done.
gone
And
through
then-
this all the time before, years
Yeah.
and years and years.
And then you get into January and they haven't got a license, and then it's
Or
February,
February.
and then
And
it's.
then you go there and tell them they can't operate without a license, and they're all pushed all out of shape.
Right.
Get your license, we notified you. You know?
Or it's more and more.
I have no problem with that.
We don't have to publish to do that?
No, you just have to vote on it.
And it's only for those listed at the end?
Yes, yep, the
So it's
stable.
stable permits, food permits, tobacco permits, body art, swimming pool? Is
Yeah,
that-
we have swimming pool regulations in place, although we don't have any public swimming pools at the moment.
It's for public swimming
It's
pools.
for public swimming
Okay.
pools, yeah.
And
I
then we
think
got
the
camps, we have no camps.
We have no camps right now, but we still.
I know, it's, yeah.
Wasn't it the stable permits that was an issue?
The stable permits are mostly the issue,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, that's always been the case.
Awful.
Forever.
And the
We
garbage,
had to go chasing them, Joe,
We've been chasing them.
you know, and it's
So
a pain, it's
I
a
don't
pain.
know. So
Now, what about garbage? What
entertain
does
it.
that mean?
So we license any garbage trucks that move in town, and also any garbage companies, and also any of the awful companies.
Has that been any problem? The garbage truck?
No, they're usually not a problem.
Okay.
No.
Usually the
Okay.
pumper guys too, pump out
Yeah,
septic
everybody,
things.
everybody's good.
Stable.
So,
You know,
so the
every-
idea is that these are,
Homeowners.
these are listed items that they get their permit every year.
Yeah.
They need it because they're continuing to operate.
They do know that they need
Yeah,
it.
they know they need it, okay. It's not,
They just don't get it.
Or they get lazy.
okay. Well, I'm okay with it now, I understand it.
I mean, then you go out there and tell them something and say, oh, I don't know. Well, what the heck, these
Of course
people
you
are
don't.
sending things out all the time and reminding them that your permits are due, and
Right.
it's like someone else that didn't pull permits and they open up a business.
It starts out white, then it goes to red,
Yeah.
then it goes to purple, and then at that point, it's
So
we're banging on the door.
I think what we need to do is notify people, don't we have to do
We've
that?
actually set up next year's application,
Yeah.
and big, and we actually have it in a different color, like we tried to, that specifically says if we do not get this in, you will be charged a $100 late fee. So anything that comes after January 1st will have a $100. They will have to, if it's a $20 stable fee, they'll have to pay $120.
Yep.
Now, I guess I'm a huge proponent of giving people the right to free speech. So like if we're gonna fine an appeal process.
Correct, you
If
can-
they wanna come in, they can appeal the late fee. That's my opinion. It's like getting tagged for selling cigarettes. They have a right to an appeal, to appeal the fine.
But if you don't pay your taxes, they charge you a fee. A late fee,
This is true.
compound daily. So, if you wanna have a horse, pay attention, pay your fee. If it, like Joe says, $20, you're gonna go broke for $20 if you own a horse? Horse eats $20 a day. You know?
Is it only $20?
I'm just saying, you know,
Is it
just-
only $20?
It's $10 per horse with a $50 minimum.
I just put it in there like that. I wouldn't even,
Okay, I voiced my concern.
somebody make a motion.
It's just been a pain in the neck.
Yeah, I know,
You know,
I know.
We had to
We're trying
deal
to
with this
button up-
before we had our health agents and all. We had to deal with this ourselves. Go knocking on the door. You owe us money, guy, if you want to keep those horses. You know, some people get some disturbed. I mean,
Yeah,
disturbed.
We
They
got a
do, but-
motion to,
Motion to approve the late fee
Second.
schedule.
all in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
So voted. The late fee goes on the permit when it's sent out. That would be in, what, November, I believe you sent all
We send
that?
everything out by mid-November, it's due by January
Here's the
1st, so.
document.
I don't think it's this
Where the hell do I have that? Oh, you got it there. I know I seen it somewhere. In the-
All right, there's some minutes to approve here.
on
I have to recuse myself on that.
January 25th. Can get a motion to approve?
Motion to accept minutes as read.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Right?
So
I'll be
voted.
abstaining, I was absent.
Yeah.
So we're at the next meeting.
It's up there.
I might not be here.
You're not gonna go see Suzuki, are you?
We haven't even set a date yet.
Tell
No, I just said I might not be here. You didn't get that part. You get it?
You'll be,
Oh, I just got it. You'll be here.
I'm not worried about it.
Alright,
Anyway. See what happens.
the 17th too soon, or should we go to 24th?
Let's go to the 24th. What's the 24th?
May 24.
Yeah.
And look, can we go back to that one we rejected? The plan we rejected? I'd like to make a motion that if they revise the plan properly, we all get to see it per Joe,
Yeah,
that he can sign.
yes.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
That's a motion, just
It's
so,
a motion, second that.
Yep.
I don't wanna hold him up, I just
All
want
in
it done
favor?
right.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
So voted. That way he doesn't hold them up.
Two
Yeah, I don't
blocks.
wanna-
It's literally 2 blocks that he has to put
Big
higher.
deal. What's a big deal? 2 blocks.
I don't know.
I think it might be more than 2.
Well, too high.
Too high,
and-
right.
And maybe 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah.
Exactly,
They're 2
5
foot or-
blocks,
Yeah.
and we're good. Then
It's
we
just,
don't.
I had that conversation
All
with
depends
him.
what size blocks it is. Stipulate what size blocks he's got.
He's doing the 2x2s or the 2x4s, you know?
Yeah.
Two blocks would be plenty.
He's
2
showing
by
2x2s, but yeah, he might be the 2x4s too.
All right, what's the time for this May 24th? 6 again?
No, 5:30. You could have made it here at 5 or 4. You know, you hurt. Should have told us. 5:30, that's my, don't worry.
Just let me know what time, I'm gonna write it down. Is it 5:30 or is it
Yes,
6?
I got 5:30.
I'd say 6.
Okay, I'll put it.
5:45?
Hey, if I can,
I'm kidding.
this is my busy time of the year, you know. I'm hurt, and I have to go into work this week. My doctor says I don't want you working. There I am, torn rotator cuff.
Why don't you listen to your doctor, that way you come to this meeting early.
Yeah, right. I got bills to
I don't
pay.
care, whatever you want to do.
I don't want them to charge me $100 for not paying my bills. Hey,
I guess we'll do 6 o'clock.
Thanks.
You said you're not
I
gonna be
already,
here.
I already wrote it.
you said you may not even be here.
Oh, God's sake. Anyway.
Motion
can
to
I-
adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yep.
So voted. We're now adjourned. Thank you.